Now, you want to introduce yourself on into this educational world. Why do you need this English language and how does it help in your real life? So tell me something about sitting there in your just tell something. Bola.
Because in the modern age, we need to be practical and not emotional. I have seen many people to say that the British have gone, but their language have not gone. We are holding the tail. That's not a practical but an emotional statement. I think so. As because the mother language, the mother tongue is to be respected. No doubt, it's to be respected. Without learning the mother language, we cannot learn any other language fluently. But we cannot our mother language we cannot use our mother language to develop ourselves scientifically or technologically, as if seen practically. Then India, not if we are Indian, if our mother language is Hindi, then there are so many advanced countries that those are technically much more advanced than India. And if we think, such as I am personally Bengali and my mother tongue is Bengali, and Bengal is not so much developed that I will get every concept from the Bengali idea. Hence, I need a media with which I can introduce myself to any topic, any chapter, and that media can be nothing but English. Yes, there are other developed countries like China, and France, Germany, but we everyone doesn't have the opportunity to learn Chinese or French or Germany, all those things. Hence, the simplest way for us to develop ourselves scientifically, technologically, and to develop our trade with the several countries, English is most favorable, as because not only in for our country, even in the other countries like Africa, Pakistan, Bangladesh, on the other hand, New Zealand, Australia, and most of the countries of the world have accepted English as the official language. And the reason behind is this is that English is a very easy language. And if we look up to the history of the English language, we'll find that it is made easy. Means English is the combination of several languages, that's Latin, Greek, and all the things. And from all those languages, a language is made, that's English. It's for easy, it's made very simple for communication and for writing and for everything else. Right. So I feel it's extremely practical to develop ourselves in the modern age. We must need English.
So introduce yourself on what is your standard right now?
My standard right now exactly, so
Ninth.
is yes, I'm ninth standard. I'm going to be in 10
And you
in 10
yourself is
standard.
recognized or identified as, tell me your biography.
My biography.
I am Mayuk Mukherjee.
Yes, I'm Mayuk Mukherjee, and I'm
Earlier I was.
yes, earlier I was from a Bengali medium school, and then I entered the English medium school. That's the government model school in Raghunathpur too. That's based on West Bengal board, but the version is English. And when I admitted in that school in class 6, and when I was in class 6, I was facing so many difficulties because of the change of the media from Bengali to English. Then sometimes I even thought to quit, but fortunately I got my teacher Harvey sir, and it's only for him that I have got the fluency in English. It's not anything. I have not learnt anything, because English is endless. Any literature is endless. It begins but doesn't end. And I am, personally, I am. I don't know anything. I do not know anything. But the thing that I know is for no one, but for my I
What
whistle.
is exactly your intention? Why do you want to learn English? Just tell me first.
Is I want to learn English is because I will not say that I want to learn English because of technological means because of developing me scientifically on all these things. And I love literature. I love literature, and personally I love the English literature much. And there's no other intention for learning English. Me this it's
How does this language help you to develop your idea, your knowledge, your intellectuality, your talent, your confidence? Define it.
yes, this language helps me to develop in all the aspects multidimensionally, and such as that in the modern day we can adapt technology as the biggest teacher that can provide us everything we want. And there the media is English, we can use the English as a media, and thereafter we can learn physics, chemistry, biology, maths, and whatever we want. Means there is no language of math, there is no language of geography, or there is no language of physics. Yes, there are some kinds of symbolic languages, but that's are not enough to make a concept clear. For that we need a media, we need a media that's the language. And for that English is the best. And English means English is not scientific language, but it's very easy to understand. And for the person who is trying to make someone understand, for him also it is very helpful. It's very much favorable to use English, as because we can describe um, means I personally feel that I can describe something in English better, I can better than that of Bengali. That's the thing.
And I think, you have started loving English. You wanted to equalize your mother tongue and English should always be in parallel. Whenever just you are in need to define it or illustrate in English or either in Bengali.
Yes,
So
sir.
what do you feel about?
Yes, of course, I always want to parallelize my mother tongue and this English, official language of our country. And it's because that uh, for technological or scientific developments or something intellectual developments, the amount means the minimum English we need to know. Means I know that I can follow anything today, but still I want to learn more and more and more. And that's only because that I am not looking for any kind of profit from the English language. I love the English literature. I love the English literature. I love the poems. I love the novels and everything I love. And that is why I want to parallelize my mother tongue and the English literature. There should not
Parallelism,
be.
parallelism,
Yes, I want to parallelize.
paralleling. I want to parallel it.
Yes, of course.
So like, no, it's all right. It's just all you need to have the confidence. Then only just you can. So now you can understand that English is an important language. It is to be used, and so what just you are always paying attention to this, and your deep attention, your mindset helps you to have this one. So how can you develop your linguistical concept? You see, it is not literally just you are going to learn that this language. Exactly. When you want to develop your knowledge in all aspects from different direction, from one towards the different direction, you can follow physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever the subject is, does not matter for you. But only the thing is that you can just the same thing you can describe, you narrate the same thing in English. And so I feel myself on, when you feel yourself on, it is an important language and it is significant and it is to be followed by each and every student. And a Bengali medium student should never fear about this. And parallelly, they can learn English as well as Bengali. So if we are being in English, Bengali medium student, if one does feel that we cannot develop and we cannot be equalized with the English medium student, I think, or you think, It can be made possible being in a school, and your teachers are always helpful there. And if they teach you like this way, I think all the students will be equally developed. Now, if they, you see that in respect to just you to employ somewhere else, now engineers and doctors and other things, all this are becoming very much competitive, and it's not possible for a student to pick all this. So in that case, if you learn English and you can achieve or you can have plenty of opportunities that you can utilize. So in that case, you need to have what? What do you need? To have the computing language. That means you need to have a command at English or command in English. Whenever just you will be able to command that English, whatever the sentence you want to make, and if you have any query, just you can need to get its answer, so you can fit or you can command your Android set, and you can have that answer easily because Google World is there. Is a great treasure. I feel pleased whenever I enter my cell phone. So mine intention or everybody's intention should be to enter into the Google world. So that whenever just you will be curious to know any answer, you can feed it and you can get the answer. The teachers are there, teaching system is there, everything is developed, and Google world, it's a great opportunity for us to introduce ourselves on. So what I ask every student, each and every student, to introduce themselves with their own effort and with the help of the teachers. They can introduce easily. So that is
Yes, of course.
everybody's intention. That should be. And this is an important chapter. And we need to circulate this so that we can introduce it. And why do you think that English grammar is needed to develop your develop your English language?
Yes, English grammar is of course needed, but first of all, we should follow the perfect curriculum for English, for learning the English. That's it should be learned in the same way we have learned our mother tongue. What happened when we were born? At first, we heard our mother tongue, means it was being spoken everywhere by our parents, and hence we were just hearing, and we tried to understand. So we were trying to understand, but thereafter we tried to speak, and we had spoken, and thereafter we read, thereafter we wrote. But in case of English, we just do the opposite thing. At first we look at the letters and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, although we do not learn the perfect pronunciation of those letters, of the vowels and the consonants, and thereafter we go for reading, thereafter we go for hearing, and thereafter at first and thereafter we write, and thereafter we listen, and at last we try to communicate with that language. Yes, that's not the correct process. At first we should, means we should understand it by hearing, and thereafter its application is very much important. Means I have found many students giving the excuse that where I can apply English. Means there are plenty of fields where you can apply English, and I feel that with the person with whom I apply English the most is I myself. I can think in Bengali. Similarly, being an Indian, I can think in Hindi. And similarly, learning English, I can think in English. I can communicate with the internal me, with mind me in English. And that conversation is much important. When you converse with yourself, that's a great kind of conversation. And from there, you can learn. And thereafter, it comes then when you are conversing with yourself, generally you do it in the mind. Otherwise sometimes you can speak this in a very light voice, and that's something else. And thereafter, speaking with someone else, it automatically comes. There is nothing needed to practice that. Thereafter, grammar. This grammar, when we learn this, when we learn the primary applications such as understanding, and thereafter conversing. Thereafter, grammar is needed. Grammar is needed to beautify the language. Means if we learn gerunds, participles, and infinitives and syntax, will happen? A kind of beautiful enflourishment will be there in our, means when we in our conversation and in our writing and everything else. Grammar is just needed for that. And if we just want to, means if we just need to know
Write
that,
correct sentences. It does
yes,
help us to write correct sentences.
write correct sentence and beautify the language.
It always beautifies.
Yes, of course. Because without grammar we can use English, but with grammar we can beautify English.
We can develop our knowledge.
Yes.
And our means what is called why just we define something else, illustrate something else, or clarify something else, or define something else. It does help us a lot.
And that grammar shouldn't be read from the just grammar books. And grammar is everywhere in the English language. When you are reading a novel, there is grammar. When you're reading a poem, there is grammar. When you're reading a play, there is grammar. Everywhere there is grammar.
Without a grammar, you can do nothing else.
Yes.
A person can be fluent at English whenever his grammar will be strong and whenever his word should will be more, then only that person can. But before that, just you can use before at the beginning, in the beginning you can do. You can start speaking English using your most common words. But whenever just you will start and listen from others, then ultimately that you will be able to store more words. You can remember that words. So ultimately, whenever just you are listening something, you are to listen it attentively. And the new words, you are to collect this one, or you have to remember this one. And afterwards, you have to have its meaning clear following the dictionary. That is important. So here I can end. And today just I don't want to move. I want to elaborate it endlessly. So today just I am what is called putting an end, and I'm putting a full stop over here. Later, I assure you, I shall teach you more, and it will be circulated in the YouTube so that you will see it and make yourself, gain yourself knowledge. Okay, bye. এইটা তো হলো রে